Alright guys, so UFC Kansas City is on the way tomorrow night. Max Holloway versus Arnold. It's actually a pretty good card. There's some good fighters on there, but the main event is really exciting. Every time Max Holloway comes into fight, it's a must watch. You can go through his whole UFC career and you will be entertained throughout all of it. And Arnold Allen is actually a really good fighter. He does have some exciting fights as well. He's got some good power, good footwork. But the thing about him is he seems to slow down as the fights go on. Throughout the third round, you could see it in his fight with Sadiq Youssef. He was really getting fatigued in that one, but because it was a bit of a higher pace, which is what it's gonna be like with Max Holloway. If you fight Max Holloway, you gotta be ready, really, really ready in the best condition of your life, like how Volkanovski was. Volkanovski basically outpaced Holloway, which is crazy. Poirier beat Holloway, but the way Poirier beat him was through his power in the early rounds, and he was able to get some takedowns later on and kind of saw the fight. But as the fight was going on, Holloway was starting to get the better of Dustin, but the power kind of made it even. And then Yair Rodriguez, he had a good game plan. He was throwing some nice kicks and all that. He was really damaging Max with calf kicks, head kicks, even body kicks. Yair has just such great kicking dexterity that he's able to do something like that. So it's interesting how different styles match up against Holloway. You can make it work with several styles, but it's actually hard to actually be able to beat Max for more than 2 rounds. But Arnold Allen, in my opinion, I don't think he's gonna get it done. I can see a scenario where maybe he's able to hurt Max, because let's just be real here. Max is taking a lot of damage. Obviously, his last 2 fights, Yair and Volk. Now he didn't look like how he did versus Calvin Kattar, but that's just how competitive those guys are. They're the 2 best guys, or the 3 best guys with Max in the weight class currently, and it was very competitive. So, just because he didn't look his best in those fights, it doesn't have to mean that he's not gonna be the same Max. But what I'm just trying to say is that he's taking quite a bit of damage, especially in his last 2 fights. It could make it easier for someone like Arnold Allen to kind of crack that chin. But ultimately, I think Max will still be in good condition. I think he's taking the right amount of time off, which is really good, because we saw that with Justin Gaethje, for example. He got brutally dropped by Oliveira, and that was a few months after his Chandler fight. But then when he came back to fight Fiziev, I think he took 9 or 10 months off, and then he came back and his chin was actually held up, even though he got dropped worse than he's ever been dropped. His head bounced off the canvas and everything, but he was so conscious. But when he fought Fiziev, a big power puncher like that, he was able to take his shots and kind of he obviously had great defense, but he was able to take the shots well, because he had rested himself, gave his brain time to recover, and gave his chin as well time to recover. So I think Max that's why he's not going to get his chin cracked in this fight. I think he'll still be able to hold up, even though Allen does have the power. I don't think he's going to be able to, connect too much on Max. Max does have some really good footwork, and although Allen's he's really fast. His punches are pretty fast, and he's more of a fast twitch guy, whereas Max, I would say he's a slow twitch muscle fiber guy. It's actually pretty interesting. Allen is the type of dude who will probably stop you early on, but Max is you're gonna have to deal with him for a long time, because he doesn't have that quick muscle fiber. Well, Allen really, really does. But as for how this matchup goes, it's Southpaw versus Orthodox. Obviously, Max Holloway, he does his best work versus Orthodox fighters. But for Southpaws, he's got a good check hook, good right straight. Obviously, he's also a switch hitter, so he'll be able to switch, and he's got a great job from the Southpaw stance as well. And another thing underrated about Max is he's got some really good kicks. I think he'll be able to land some good body kicks on Allen from the open stance. I think he'll still try to go for his jabs, and like he'll be able to like hand fight foul him. Like when Ortega went southpaw in their fight, Max would just kind of like hand fight with him and like throw the cross or throw a jab and then cross, things like that, and just frustrating Arnold Allen. And Max also does a really good job when he gets going of like he goes to the body really well. We saw that versus Brian Ortega. We saw that versus Calvin Cater as well. And I think a big part of his game plan is going to go to the body with those straights early on, like the right straight, because obviously they're in the open stance. So that right hand's going to be open. So I think he's going to go for that couple front kicks. At first it's going to be like harder to track down Allen because he's got some really, really good lateral movement. And he's going to be tricky, obviously. He's going to be fast. So Max is going to be a bit more cautious early on because you don't want to, get into like a dogfight too early on when Arnold Allen is at his best. So I think Max is going to try to wear on him a bit, kind of like work his body, slow him down with flat kicks. And I think eventually like he'll be able to like slow him down where he's going to be able to land his Boston combinations on Arnold Allen. And I actually think he'll be able to stop Arnold Allen in round 4, like by TKO, or maybe round 5. I don't think like the corner is gonna stop the fight, but I think it's gonna be like where like Allen's just taking quite a bit of damage, and like he's starting to get bloodied, and the ref is like defend yourself. Like he's not gonna get dropped, but I think it's gonna be like a standing stoppage for Max Holloway. I just don't think that if Sadiq Youssef he's able to like get you that tired and like stay in your face and give you that much problems, I don't think he's gonna be able to like mess with Holloway too much. And he's got some good power, but Max has been in there with some heavy-handed guys. He's still been able to take those shots. And I think this fight will be similar. Like he'll have some troubles early on. I can see Max Holloway getting like the cut that he had in the Volkanovski fight open up again. Allen has that really good left straight, so I think he's going to let it quite a bit early on. And it's probably going to open up a cut, but I don't think the doctor is going to stop the fight. I hope not, at least, but the way I see it is Max Holloway winning this fight by TKO round, I'm going to say round 4. I think Max Holloway is going to come back to form. And after this fight, it's tricky, but you could probably do him versus maybe you could do him versus I was gonna say Josh Emmett, but I just realized he's fighting Ilia Topuria, so I think you could do Max versus the winner of Topuria versus Josh Emmett, especially if it's Ilia Topuria. So I think that'd be a good move. They're fighting in July, I think, or June. But yeah, I think for Max, that's going to be his path back to a title. So I think he would need 2 more wins, this one and then one more, and then he'll be back for a title shot.